Hi everyone, welcome to the Utizen. If you hear some random background noises, I am recording this outside, so just to let you know in case anybody is confused. But yes, when I upload this will be 1 year since I posted my first OTDK video, which explained the whole Woojin situation, which I posted the same day it initially happened, meaning the Woojin situation is 2 years old now. But guess what? There are still people too stupid to comprehend the situation or own up to their mistakes of believing and hating on Woojin. It has gotten way better since 2 years ago, I will admit. There are still people, a lot of people, who still think Woojin is in the wrong. Anyway, as a cub, it's frustrating to hear people or see posts with ignorant people spurting lies and misconceptions about the whole Woojin situation. And if you don't know, we call Woojin's haters Wantis. And so these Wantis say the dumbest, ignorance, while simultaneously acting arrogant about it. These nobodies on the internet want to know the truth about the matter, and even if they ask for the proof, they will deny it. So I have seen my fair share of Wantai statements, and I've compiled a list that I originally made into a thread on Instagram to showcase to my fellow cubs, to have a little laugh and to piss off some Wantais who may see it, showing them how dumb they sound. And since I was busy and did not get the time to make or post anything about Still Dream surpassing its 1 year anniversary, along with his debut album, to celebrate, allow me to read out and explain this list of shit Wantis say. No, seriously, it all started with a fake accusation by a nobody who pretended to be a staff member claiming that they would see Woojin hurting the members, and everyone bought it. But it had been debunked that it was fake. But because of that rumor, people went back to old footage of Woojin with the members and would clip out random moments which seemed like Woojin either hurt the members or made the members uncomfortable or didn't get along well with the members, which were just fabricated to make him look bad. Not to mention, I made a video of someone who used to train with Stray Kids and called Woojin a good person after he believed the accusation. That's why Stays and Wantais believed he would bully the members because of him. And after being corrected about this misconception, you'd think Stays would let this go. Like, you'd think Stays would be like, oh, this was fake? Oh, thank goodness they weren't hurt. Sorry, Woojin, I had it all wrong. Nope. Instead, they would push this narrative more and would tell people that question the awful clips that they do not care for Stray Kids, when it's actually the complete opposite. I get that you care about the group you like so much that you are willing to defend them for no matter what. Like, seriously, they sometimes defend Stray Kids for the wrong things. But it doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem like you care about them so much that you will have their backs. It's more like you hate Woojin so much and you also don't want to be wrong because it will hurt your ego. You would rather have had Stray Kids hurt. Like, I thought you would be happy that the boys are not hurt, but instead you're angry that they are not because you were wrong. I feel so bad for Stray Kids. Yes, so a while back, I think it began when a TikTok surgeon made a TikTok on how Felix probably got surgery because his jawline became sharper or something like that. I personally don't like these surgeons making videos on stuff like this, on idols and celebrities. Like, who cares if someone gets plastic surgery or not? But it caught Felix's attention, and he states that, no, it's not plastic surgery, I just personally didn't like my baby fat, so I dieted and removed it. And he got a lot of backlash on Twitter saying that this topic could have been triggering to those who have an ED and is promoting this. But others were basically ratioing these tweets saying that no, he's not, and he has the right to talk about his insecurities if he feels comfortable. Idol's job, among being talented in their musical art, whether it be singing, dancing, rapping, or producing, But they also must appear as this perfect being, which is the definition of an idol. That's why we see these unrealistic beauty standards and why most idols have personas. They pretend to be happy 24/7 for us, and on top of them trying to make us happy. Because clearly, as we saw from this, if there is something a fan doesn't like or appreciate, they will hate the idol and the idol must give them an apology. And most of the shit they apologize for shouldn't have been an apology worthy thing. This is also why we see a concerning struggle with companies handling their idols' mental health and physical health sometimes. And sometimes we see idols overworked to the point where their health is not the best and they have to step out because of mental health issues or injuries. And us as K-pop fans see this and we're like, why can't idols just be themselves and have the right to be sad? They have the right to call out people that hurt them. They have the right to have protections and human rights and all of that jazz. But then do this with Felix. Yeah, okay, so if you will treat Felix and making him apologize for opening about his feelings and insecurities and making his struggles about yourself or people who do not pertain to you, what makes you think you will listen and not freak out when Stray Kids members decide to hint or flat out tell you what happened or anything about the situation because they are tired of their fans tarnishing their reputation and tired that their fans keep putting words in their mouth? But let's address the elephant in the room. They are not allowed to address anything. And that's not because, oh shit, Woojin must have done something if they cannot talk about a member that is not part of their company anymore. It's just how it is. Look at the many groups who've had a member that left before. They typically do not talk about their former member because it's just how it is. They're not part of the group anymore, so why should the existing member of the group address or mention someone who does not pertain to the company anymore? But let's just say they could. I feel like if a member decided to talk about what happened and if an answer that does not cover the narrative that antis were saying, I feel like antis would turn against them and be mad. And let's say Wantis do not get mad and have an epiphany and finally listen to their members and leader Bangchan, who has hinted about Woojin being fined before like 3 times at least. I feel like Stays will not apologize for the damage that they put on Woojin's name and the bad reputation they gave Stray Kids and the bad image they gave Stray Kids from the victimizing and making the Stray Kids look like helpless kids. Besides, stop saying they didn't even cry when he left. First of all, the news was so abrupt where no Stray Kids member was making live content. So how do you know that they didn't cry? They had a huge hiatus to recollect themselves, and when they came back on Chan's room, they were all together as 8, and what were they gonna do? Cry? Again, pulling up the definition of an idol, it's obviously okay to cry if you feel upset, especially for boys and men. They have the right to cry too. But for the idol image, that is not acceptable unless it's for something like a music video or a vignette or a teaser of some sort for aesthetic purposes. But in real life, it is best that idols do not. And whatever happened behind the scenes where they were collecting themselves, you will never know if they cried or not. Maybe they did. You will never know. Besides, Stray Kids were scared shitless that this news would hurt them in the sense how this news made Stays worried, confused, sad, angry, many mixed emotions, and I'm sure they were scared on what will happen next. Then comes their tour. And in one of, and if not their first show, they cried. They cried so hard because they were begging. Okay, so I'm back inside because my phone overheated, so there's gonna be a shift in the background noises, I guess. Anyways, yeah, they cried so hard because they were begging Stays to stay. Which some smart ass Wantis would say, like, they didn't even cry for him, they were crying because of us. Yeah, they were crying because they were begging you to stay because of him, dumbass. Many of the Stay fandom, including me at the time, were turned off by the idea of Stray Kids being 8 because they would chant and preach 9 or none, Only real OG stays will remember that. Many stays, like I said, were angry about this news and were voicing how they will not continue to follow them. How would I know? Because I went through that exact same dilemma. I was texting my friend when the news came out, and I told her I don't think I can continue to stand them. And they said, you should stay. It's what Woojin and Stray Kids would want. And then I stayed for what seemed like a good one more year until I fell off. Stray Kids were happy to see everyone come to their show, when they were probably scared to see many people to not come because of the news, and they had a heartfelt moment where they all started bawling, especially Hyunjin begging us to stay because of Woojin. Clearly, you were not a stay from that era for that long to understand this concerning period of Stray Kids. Okay, baby stay, if it's not that, because you were totally a stay from that time to understand this entire thing, why else would they beg us to stay coming from that time? No, tell me, because since you got into Stray Kids yesterday, you must know everything, right? Yeah, you Wantis need to stop preaching how you will listen to your idols because you will look up to them, especially when they preach to share kindness, and you guys are like, you're so right, Bang Chan, my love. And then he gives you your virtual hug, and then he turns off the camera, and then you switch apps to talk shit on Twitter, which y'all forget that he can see. You're literally turning against the person that you deem to be the most trustworthy and reliable. Remember that whole speech he did about betrayal? The one y'all thought it was about Woojin? He literally said he hates it when somebody betrays his words. Let's replay what he said.
Last year, there was a lot of things that happened last year, but I think it's for the best of for everyone, and yeah, like if I quickly just say something, it's how to say this? It's okay to make mistakes, like it really is, but like just make sure to be careful because it can really affect yourself and people around you. Like I know a person who had who had to face the worst consequence by making a lot of mistakes, and it was because of those mistakes that really affected the people around him. If you make a promise with with the team or the people around you, you need to be responsible and really keep those promises, not break them. Okay to make mistakes, like everyone makes mistakes, so it's really fine, but just remember to think of the people around you, and think very carefully about your future and what you want to do, like your dreams and everything, because the actions and decisions that you make could become a really it could become a very big turning point in your life, and so don't be that person who just thinks about himself and think about the people, and make sure to think about the people around you too, because if you don't, it's kind of like betrayal. Then and yeah, it means that you're being really really selfish. So yeah, we can't go into too much detail, but yeah, I know it stays no. It's fine to make mistakes. Just always, I don't know. I feel like for me, it's top priority to think about the people around you, and of course, I'm important as well. But it's because it's like a really big industry where you have to work with a lot of people. It's always good to think about the people around you. So yeah, stays know what I'm talking about. Stays know what I mean.
So you are literally blaming someone when he didn't say names, while you are literally doing what he hates as well. He has to constantly remind y'all to be kind and to respect people, and these are values he promotes dearly, and you don't care to follow that. The bare minimum of being kind. About a week later from that, Chan released a Stray Kids player called Don't Want to Acknowledge. It was a deep and sad song about someone lying to him and breaking his promises, and since this what the fuck Woojin betrayed Chan idea from the last moment was going around, so stays were like, okay, yep, Woojin is a bad guy. Chan made a song about him now. and made a lot of comments and tweets about it. And in the next live with 3 Racha, he stops what he was doing to take the time to debunk this idea that everyone thought. So he himself said not to send hate to him. Sure, this was before the essay stuff, which was debunked too. But this also explains the bullying. If he was hurt by Woojin, why would he take the time to risk his contractual obligation to not mention Woojin in any way? And did it because this bothered him. Like, he legit said it, and you still give hate to him. After you said you'd listen to him with whatever he has to say. But you refuse. Just imagine how he must feel when he sees the fandom that is supposed to follow him and stuff, and he is promoting his values, and he sees people on social media doing the opposite. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase on this one. Woojin did not promote his solo. All he said was, I didn't do it. I'm literally busy preparing for future activities to do anything. I'm in a company and they will be on top of the slander. Like, it's not an apology at all. But I don't know why they made it seem that way. Why wouldn't he apologize for something he did not do? It's not like JYP or other big companies in K-pop where they make the idol apologize before anything, even if they didn't do anything. So yeah, in Korea it's a big problem to where you can literally lose your career for bullying a kid when you were 7. Bullying is a big problem everywhere in the world, but never had I seen it be as prevalent like in South Korea. And fans rave over bullying, which we can all agree is not okay, but why would you reciprocate the same thing towards celebrities and netizens? We get it, you are anonymous and you don't have consequences as of now. But are you gonna promote anti-bullying beliefs while bullying people? It doesn't make sense. So this is a factor that not many Wantis know, and when I show them, they cannot give me an explanation or anything to, explain with their narrative about the whole situation. Seungmin went on live about 5 days before the September 8th allegation, because I think it was on September 3rd. Someone commented on his live to touch his cheek if he missed Woojin, and immediately after, he put his phone down, looked straight into the camera, and touched his cheek. Like, to be honest, I don't know how else you would explain that. But someone said on Twitter somewhere, I don't know, I don't remember. If I can find it, I'll put it, I don't know, but this user was saying things like, Seungmin literally does that. Like, he is like that. It's what he does. What? No. Seungmin, yes, is a naturally cute person, but he is not the type to just do aegyo when someone asks for it, and when another member does something cute, he cringes. He's like that, not what you were insinuating. So, now what? He doesn't do stuff like that, and this time he did it, but with the intention of saying he misses Woojin. So if Seungmin low-key said he missed Woojin, wouldn't that tell you that he did not bully the Stray Kids? I would see instances where people would bring other idols named Woojin into the conversation, like saying things like, I only know Woojin from, and then they would say things like Target, AB6, and Ghost 9. So that's literally bringing people that nada que ver. Not only from the fake victims, I remember another post of fake victims trying to bring NCT's Jungwoo into the mess because Jungwoo and Woojin were friends when he trained in SM. And I should mention how when these allegations first came out on September 8th, what did Stays do? Immediately put Stray Kids into the mix when it was Woojin's battle to fight. And then came on the fake JYPE staff that posted that exposing Woojin thread for being violent to Stray Kids, so they brought in Stray Kids to something, for lack of a better phrase or word, nada que ver. At first, when the first essay allegation showed those 3 hints, some people tweeted or commented a few names that fell under the categories of the hints, and people who were already hating on Woojin were saying, it's obviously Woojin, do not bring other people into this. When it was perfectly valid to do so, because sure, it looked like they were insinuating Woojin, but maybe it could have been somebody else. but they got mad at us for thinking critically, but they can bring other people into this mess? That's not fair. Essay is not a joke. I'm sure we can all agree on this, but when you share a person's nudes on Twitter, it's considered essay as well. I don't know who found it and thought, hey, this looks like Woojin, so let's spread it around. If this was Woojin, this is considered essay, but it wasn't. Apparently, it was another kid, a minor. This is SA. This was so fucked up to do, whether it was to Woojin or not. Seriously, poor kid. The way you preach anti-SA while you're literally participating in SA. So we get this Woojin bullying accusation and everyone is lashing at him how bullying is not okay and it's terrible, he's such a terrible person. Then Hyunjin gets a bullying accusation and there was hardly any outrage about it. Besides, lots of stays were saying, people bully all the time, it's no big deal. Clearly people bully all the time, I see it on Twitter on the daily, and I've witnessed it and experienced it myself in real life. But are you just gonna forget all the moral stuff you said about Woojin? I am planning to make a video about this double standard between Hyunjin and Woojin. Yes, I know it's old, but I feel like it's a crucial thing to highlight because it's fucked. It's literally fucked to preach one thing for someone and switch up for someone else. Like, fuck you. So, Wantis would consider 2.3-second clips of Woojin just chillin' as not getting along with the members, but when there was footage of Hyunjin literally flinching to whenever Lino would lift his arm, or that time when Lino would pull out Hyunjin's arm hairs when Hyunjin is literally visibly getting hurt and telling him to stop, Lino kept going and Hyunjin got visibly frustrated. That's nothing to you? If your definition of bullying is breathing, then why aren't you calling out Lino when he would legit bother Hyunjin? This was back in I think Yellowwood or Levanter promos. I don't know about now if it carried on or other instances, but seriously, you cannot talk about this. I know Lino isn't a bully. I know it is a Stray Kids anti-misconception attack on Lino, but Lino's qualities are mainly cold, doesn't give two shits, and savage. I don't know how to explain his personality because it isn't bad, but Lino messes around with the kids and sometimes he goes overboard or may come off as rude. I'm not calling Lino a bully. I know he isn't, but the dynamic of you calling Woojin a bully for stupid reasons versus you calling it cute when Lino is to a degree hurting Hyunjin at one point in time. Make it make sense. And finally, I just want to emphasize how these antis will preach that SA and violence is not okay, which is true. Glad that we agree on that. But you cannot say that shit and tell me and other supporters that we should have gotten SA or we should get SA'd. What is wrong with you? Seriously. Most of these people you're trying to curse out are minors, so you're wishing and telling them to get into harmful situations. That's what you're literally telling them. And just telling anyone who you see that supports him. How are you gonna say that you're against SA and then wish it upon someone? Same thing for violence. Violence is never the answer, right? You've heard that phrase, right? Then why are you harassing Woojin and anybody who does not agree with you into ending their life? Again, you may have said this to minors, which I know, why are people under 16 on the internet, but still. Also, you may never know what those people you were cursing out are going through. When I was literally getting crucified, I was already having a hard time at home and school, and for nobody's on the internet to tell me that I should end my life and I should have gotten SA'd, or I should go to hell or join Woojin in a prison cell. But as for me, what I thought about my hate messages, these are all from nobodies, and little by little I developed the final layer of thick skin I needed. I have already developed thick skin from my upbringings and personal life, but never had I had a problem such as this, with people that I don't know. So after I was brutally bombarded, I have developed another layer of thick skin where whenever somebody tries to tell me off or something, it doesn't faze me. And it hadn't fazed me anymore. So back to the main point, don't do this. Don't pretend to have morals or to be a good person if you're just not gonna practice what you preach. That's basically the moral of this episode, because basically I named all the times Wantis had said something but do the complete opposite, because they are hypocrites and idiots. So that is my short list of Wantai quotes plus my little addition of correction to their words, but trust me, there are way more where that came from. If you liked this video and you want to see more frequently said shit from Wantais, let me know, because like I said, there is much more where that came from that I can make multiple parts. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!